Hello, and welcome to Rolling Escapades Season 2, Episode 28, Part 1. Web series in which we play D&D and put it online for your entertainment. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll come away feeling extremely entertained. Our sponsor remains Destiny, logo to the left, and links in the description. Go click on that, look through the fancy stuff, and buy something. It's pretty cool. Go check out the artist for the campaign, Christopher Rolls. You can check out his DM's Guild products, and you can look at his Facebook page to get commissions done, to get awesome artwork for yourself. We have a John this week, so we're going to do the thing that we spoke about the last two sessions. We're going to handle the little Throndraek leaving ceremony. So we're actually going to start with that. I'm going to do a recap for last week in part 2 because it doesn't really apply to this part.
Yes,
because time jumps are fun. So we go back a little bit in time, a couple of days, to where Throndraek has told the party that he is leaving and heading off to do other things. You guys organised for an event of sorts to happen for Throndraek as a way to say goodbye and good luck, and started speaking to the council to get access to areas in which to hold an event, and then the council sort of went, oh, this is a really good idea, we're just going to organise it ourselves and make it more of a public city event that you guys are just there for. The reason being is you were getting areas of the Silver Gardens, which is the area within the city that the Silver Roses Druid Circle live and maintain. And it's not difficult to get hold of access, but the city lacks set dates for festivals currently. They're still building and prepping and putting things in place, and your ideas were to hold a sort of series of little games of skill and strength and things like that. So the council decided that actually they would just organise it themselves and make it an annual event. And then following on from that, the Temples of Cord became heavily involved because that's sort of their forte. And it has turned into a city-wide event focused within the Silver Gardens. So it's a particular day which I've forgotten. I think it's Fire Day. I'll have to double check my calendar. I don't know what the dates are, but
No, you do.
is there drizzle?
there probably
No,
is.
today it's snowing.
Just today.
Today it's sleet.
Yay! The cold version of drizzle.
So, you guys have, on this particular day, made your way to the Silver Gardens. Throndraek in tow. This is his last day of being in the Errant Guard and being in Jofrheim. There are dozens of various vendors who have set up stalls selling different forms of food, different types of drinks, trinkets, and there are places in which you can go to test your strength, your stamina, your speed, your dexterity, your intelligence, games of chance, things like that. There is something like 50 or so options of things you can go and play.
Well, this is more unexpected.
It's a bit more grandiose, I think.
Happy Throndraek Day, everyone.
Is this going to be every year?
Yes,
I'm not sure they're going to call it Throndraek Day, but I know we will.
but we will, yes.
Maybe if you win all the events, then they will name it after you.
Challenge accepted. How do I win the smart events?
We cheat. Sorry, I cheat, and then we make you win.
I like this plan.
I'll have no part of it, but good luck.
So we're going to give them the idea, help them set up, get the setup taken away from us,
And then rig the
rig
bitch.
all the games. I like it.
No, the strength game we don't have to rig because he's got a belt of giant strength.
Technically already rigged.
But I do believe there may be some events where Throndraek is not naturally gifted and may need some assistance.
I want to go and win a stuffed eagle.
That's probably something you can do, yeah?
It's a legit stuffed eagle.
Correction, it is free day.
Throndraek.
It's free day.
Actually,
It is.
more to get that thing to be a thing.
It is the ninth day of the week, so the first day of the second weekend. Or second non-working day, I suppose. Which means people can drink and get happy and not have to work the following day.
Woo!
You mean there was a day in this world where people wouldn't just sit around in a bar and drink?
Those that have to do jobs sober the next day? Yeah.
Most of the population.
Adventurers just
Apart
getting
from
drunk and
adventurers.
working
Adventurers are
all the
different.
time.
I feel sad for people in the service industry because there's 2 weekends in 1 week. It's like, you know,
That's what this
you're always
restoration's for.
working weekend shifts.
So, we've just arrived, I guess.
You've basically just arrived.
What
yeah.
are the nearby stands? I
So,
don't know what's going on.
yeah, essentially stalls. The ones are at the entrance are mostly food and drink. The idea being people walk in, buy something to eat, start drinking, and then by the later on they'll be so drunk that they're just spending money when they actually get to the games of challenge.
I'm good at this game. I just point at the booze bar.
I didn't even need to look. I knew you were going to point
Which-
as well.
There is a fair few. You do know of one stall that is here because Delray has set up a stall with some of her home-brewed liquors. She has specifically not brought ale with her to this event. She doesn't like ale. She hates making ale. She hates everyone who drinks ale. But she makes it because it sells. And
I'll have an ale.
she punches you. So you know, there's most taverns have got some sort of representation here. There are people who are just selling meads. There are people who are just selling wines. There are people who are just selling hard liquors, ales, stouts. There are people who've got a mix of. There's a couple of small stands that are selling things like mulled wine and mulled cider.
What season of the year are we in?
You're still in spring.
Still spring.
Yep. It's just recently passed the spring equinox.
It's the equinox showers. Sorry, the equinox drizzles.
What were they when it was before the equinox?
The sad drizzles.
It's actually not raining.
Throndraek is the best!
Raise the sun!
Is it cloudy though?
It's cloudy.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Every day it doesn't rain, we should remember you from.
So,
It's not raining,
not
just
very
like on
often then.
Throndraek Day.
I've got an idea. Whoever wins drinks so the others can catch up with them so that they can have a better chance at beating them next time.
Sold. But
Thought we were trying to get you to win.
yeah, weren't we going to get you to win everything? Wasn't that the plan?
I forgot about that.
Okay.
He's going to get very drunk.
I mean, that's a given. I assume.
assume that was
So
gonna
are we
happen
actually
anyway.
going with that plan, trying to make me win?
Seems fitting.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because it's Throndraek Day.
Okay. Well, should we start where I am good?
Makes sense. Start at the top.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What? Are you going to have a victory pint for everything you win?
Sure.
Well, then maybe let's start at the things you're shit at then.
Maybe
Because if you end up having victory points at the things you're shit at and you end up slightly tipsy for the things you're good at, you're still more likely to win those things. Does that make sense?
and have all the victory points at the end.
Wait.
I mean,
You're withholding alcohol from him. I don't think that's going to go well.
I thought it didn't matter. He
Yeah,
can-
Eldoran.
he can
How
help.
many times can you know?
I see where you're going. Yeah, we're good. Let's go.
There are a couple of drinking competitions through the day as well.
Sign up.
Just yes to all of them.
Yeah. I go to the next one drunk. Just
Well, except you don't.
if the timetables cross over on two of them, so it's just not one.
Or
Each
if
one
you
round
both
takes the other.
if you see me like turning, it's like it's okay, Throndraek.
So drunk.
Now,
If you drink enough, can you gain temporary hit points because you can't feel being hurt?
No,
No, you get poisoned.
you just become poisoned.
aw.
Because you
I
become
mean,
really bad.
It's like if you were drunk, you wouldn't feel it, but a knife into you is still bad.
yeah.
Okay, it's temporary hit points that when you lose it, you actually lose that much extra health.
Losing all feeling is not the same as gaining a thick, oozy feel around.
I know they call it a big jacket, but it's not actually like a physical jacket.
So I'm gonna go up to
That's
Delray.
like a magic cube.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Yeah, what's in front of us?
Various forms of liquor. You've seen most of them before. At some point, I imagine Throndraek and Parr have tried most of them. She has brought a couple of new things. There's not much of, but she's trialing some new stuff that she's made.
Is there any of my shit here?
Not fit for human consumption.
the paint stripper stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
that depends on whether or not you wanted. She would ask you if you wanted her to sell it
Oh,
or
more
not.
than happy. Have you know?
Okay, then
Oh,
yes, there
Of course,
is.
you can use my paint stripper.
Everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, but she is putting a warning sign in front of that. She has a warning sign to be like, you know, if you buy this, I'm not selling you anything else. She might ignore that for you.
You've got fitting name for it.
Oh, so no, not yet. I feel like it might have to be like a dwarves only drink.
I mean, I think a fitting name would be Blackout.
I think Derek should have some.
Disagree strongly. But interesting that if it's that bad, if we see other people who are competent who could threaten to take away Throndraek's title in any event, we can just give them some of that.
Oh, of
And
course.
then incapacitate them.
Put it in their drink.
Yes.
Drink.
Unfortunately, that keg is the only one I made, though.
I mean, how much is a lot?
Don't you only need a small amount?
Give him a shot of it.
For most people, one.
Yeah, I mean, you had some a few days ago at Shade Stag Do.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
I forgot. Like,
You did. You really did.
Yeah.
so is that a con save or something?
Yeah,
You're the only
make a con save. Yeah.
Plus 3.
So that's plus 9 plus 3. 21.
Cool. It is
Very
potent.
as well.
Even just every shot at that, like you are immediately feeling the effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time it almost took you out after a night of drinking. On top of that, it just almost like for every second you were gone.
I feel like I've had this before.
You did.
You say it's a dwarven only drink. Or you're planning.
That's an advisory. I don't really want to be exclusionary.
Are you shot it or sip it?
Sip and then shot.
Sip and then shot. Okay. Make a con save.
Plus 3.
The numbers might, because sorcerers do have proficiency in con saves.
Oh dear.
Still a one
Okay,
roll.
so con save is plus 5.
Plus another 3.
Plus another 3, so that's 9 total.
Oh yeah.
Icarus just straight up,
Shut
straight
up.
down.
After the sip, right? Like before he shot.
Yeah.
Well, just the sip and then the shot like
The
remains
shot
there,
just
like,
sort of,
down.
as you're going down, the shot sort of goes in your mouth.
Now, I saw this play once. Now, we could play weekend Icaruses.
So some sorcerer's bullshit I can pull to get out of this.
Good luck.
Ben Luck.
Yeah. With the plus 4 will give me anything.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, sure, I'll bet. I want to say use it to help him, but yes, I'll bet luck. That's a 4.
Okay, so 14.
13.
13, sorry, yeah, 13. Okay.
It's over 10.
It is now over 10, yes.
It's not enough, is it?
No.
You still passed out. Okay.
It just straight. I mean, that's what Jared said. Yeah. Blackout. Yeah. I think blackout does it.
I quite like that name.
Yeah.
You don't have a glass of water or something?
If I survived in collapse, I would have said cave in, but no, blackout works now. Because
No. This is the Errant Guard. We have traditions. When people pass out, we get them tattooed.
oh no.
Erebus is to get some point.
Yeah, he's not said anything about that yet. He knows.
Oh yeah, at this point he knows. He got an earful when it was discovered.
What tattoo did you get? I missed that bit.
Did you bring your tattoo artist?
This is a fair. There's got to be someone here
He
with a needle
probably
and some
set
paint.
up a stand at the fair.
Right, I'm going to start carrying Icarus to the stand and to the next stand until I find the next stand and just put him back down until they figure out what's going on.
Wonderful.
Oh, drink water. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Derek.
Enjoy.
Oh, today. It's going to be interesting.
Are you finding another alcohol stand?
No, like an actual
an actual game of sorts. Wonderful. Where's the first game? Hang on, I have 21 pages of games to look through.
Fucking hell.
Icarus wants to go to that one.
Page 14, third one down.
That one.
You just hold him and spin
Now
around.
the real time is to get Icarus to win all the games now.
That is proper weekend.
Can I use my reaction when unconscious?
No.
It's still a worth question to ask.
You can make no actions whilst unconscious or reactions.
I could throw him, and whichever one he lands nearest, that's the one we can play.
You can't move, you can't speak, and you are unaware of your surroundings.
I'm not sure I want to start people
I'm
thinking that the throwing
recovering-
Icarus is the game.
Hang on, I'm recovering vampire at the moment.
Oh, so that means you're
Vampires
already
Anonymous.
poisoned.
Double poison.
That's right, you can't get poisoned again.
Isn't this meant to be
Yeah.
towards the end of our time off?
Yes.
Is he still?
Yeah, so at this point,
It was a full week's worth of recovery time.
I think, yeah, he's
You can wake
literally,
him
I
up.
think actually, he's sort of, I have to double check the times on that, because you might actually,
Tap, tap, tap.
yeah,
Assuming that.
you are definitely poisoned at this point.
Can I wake him up using lay on hands?
You're going to spend 5 points to remove a poison, then yes.
You're just on my shoulder. As I'm pointing your hand somewhere. How are you feeling?
Green.
That was a drink.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Where are we going?
That way. Your hand's pointing there.
Pointing at it.
After you.
I'll put you down.
How was the flavour?
He doesn't remember.
Just bitter, burning alcohol.
It had flavour.
That
You're-
was the question.
I thought it tasted alright.
So the first sort of like game you come across is one of the standards for any sort of carnival type thing, which is the hammer onto a I can't remember what it's called.
Bell thing.
Yeah, you hit the thing and it pops a stick up and strikes a bell. Because that's everywhere.
The strength test one.
Yeah. It's
Well,
easy.
we need to cheat on this one. This is great.
Oh, we
No
broke
more
it.
cheating required.
Now, do I rage?
Oh, not for this one.
How much is it? Like, do we have to pay?
For this one, you don't win anything. It's just it's more of a bragging thing. They're not charging for this one. It's just set up. It's a thing that people play on their way in.
Okay.
It's a sort of, you have some drinks, you get here, you do this thing, and you start getting a little bit more into the fact that what you're about to enter is just this.
5 silver says he breaks it.
I feel like I have to take cover, yeah.
That's why I want the mallet first, actually.
He does have to use the wooden mallet.
Right. I know hammers.
Yeah. Make a strength check.
25.
Oh, yeah. That's one swing. And definitely the loudest the bell has currently rung. The guy running it is just a bit like.
Did Delray see it though?
Huh.
Did Delray see it though?
Not at this point. No, you're a little too far away.
She's probably heard it.
She's probably heard the bell, yeah, but she's probably been hearing them all sorts of
I've
times.
spent most of my career wielding a hammer like this. Your turn.
Oh, me.
So gonna roll like a 1.
3.
14.
14.
I should have raged.
Derek could have inspired you as well. There are all sorts of things that could have happened there.
I could
strength one.
I could enhance his ability so he gets advantage on the roll.
How long did that last?
An hour.
Cool. I don't need to rage then.
So you get a good solid hit in. It does go up and hit the bell. Not a very loud ring, but you know you got a hit. He's a bit like that's more how people do it.
That drink's gone to my head.
I didn't think anything went to your head.
Derek.
Sure.
You actually get as you go to do it, he sort of grabs your hammer and just gives you a slightly better sized hammer.
Size hammer.
Because you are swinging a hammer that's like your length.
Do you stop him from grabbing it?
No. I use the small hammer. Strength check.
Yeah.
7. I'm in the halfling category, it's fine.
Yeah.
For the halfling category, it's not a bad effort.
No, it's not a bad effort. You think until one of the halfling steps up and goes, BING! And then just sort of carries on walking. I mean, the little stick bit does go up the pipe, but it doesn't hit the bell when you do it. It just sort of poof. Like that. I mean, if it's swung with this one, it probably wouldn't have gone up as far, so...
Do you want to borrow this?
Points to the belt.
Anyone else?
Why not?
I'll give that a go.
Cool. One of you go first, make a strength check.
Should I go first?
You go first.
11.
So you smack it. It gets quite close to the bell, but doesn't strike it.
I'm
it's
a
a good
sorcerer,
solid
I'm okay
smack.
with that.
Yeah.
No.
2.
Thanks, mate.
Makes you look good.
Yeah, did that on purpose.
But I feel a bit better now.
Not warmed up.
Anyone else? Or are we moving on?
Come, let's find another stool.
But I thought we were supposed to... Okay.
I think we're just going to play the games.
On the way to next side, I said,
So you said there's a spell that makes it easier.
I can generally boost any one of the things.
Come on then.
Which one do you want? Strength?
No.
It depends on what store we're going to. It could be one of the others.
Intelligence.
If you could make him smarter, you know.
Don't worry, when it comes to... Throndraek's going to win at the intelligence ones, don't worry.
Yep.
It's actually it is checks, so yeah, it would be.
Yeah, still checks. Yeah.
Yeah, so give him the bull's strength.
Bull strength. Cool. So you now have advantage on all strength checks for an hour. What sort of game are we looking for next?
The strength-based one.
Another strength-based one.
Oh right, we've entered the crystal maze.
There's various options. Just which one are you going to go find?
Is one of them a crystal maze?
No, but there is an obstacle course.
Krypton factor, even better. Get it.
is the caber toss around?
There it is. It's slightly
Or the hammer
it's-
throw, or the halfling throw. I don't know.
Halfling, no!
There's
Only if you bring your own halfling.
there's cable
Good
toss.
thing.
There's
It's
stone
pretty
put. There's just straight weight throwing. There's hammer throwing.
Are these all in one area?
They're sort of dotted in the same sort of area, but spread out a bit because they're the ones that need a bit more space.
Need a field.
They need there to be not people in the way, especially drunk people.
Well, that's the dodging game.
No, that's a different game. So is that what you're going to go and find?
I mean, Cabotos, I think he's used to and
Yeah.
done before.
That's definitely, yeah. There is also a tug of war, both solo and team.
I feel like Derek would just be holding the boat off
Yes, keep going, lad.
Basically be recreating the boat. Derek is there for moral support, but doesn't actually do any of the pulling.
I could recreate it, but I could just shoot him in the leg again. That bit was awesome.
Is it a concentration spell?
Yes.
Oh, okay, don't shoot him.
Right, so you're going to go looking for the cable toss. Cool. So in terms of cable toss, there's actually two variations. There's just toss, like just doing a tossing with varying lengths of trunk, and you just keep going from trunk until only one person has flipped it, or everyone's failed at the same thing. Or there's one where you've got a minute to flip the same log as many times as you can.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
The increasing in size.
Increasing in size and weight. Wonderful. So
Who's signing up?
yeah.
Are there prizes or records for this one, or is it like the strength test that it's just like a warm-up?
This one does have an entry fee and then a win at the end. So it's 1 gold to enter, and then at the end the pot is split. 50% goes to the council and to be shared amongst the vendors and whatnot, and then 50% is split amongst the winners.
Okay.
There is only,
my gold.
cool.
Yep, same.
There is only one of the events held much later in the day. So anyone entering it, there's going to be like 50 or 60 people just in the one thing. So it's going to run very decent length of time. Of course, you two are paying the gold. Anyone else joining in, or is it just you two?
I'm casting a spell.
Wonderful, you cast a spell.
Okay, I'll sign up. I'll pay gold.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I use my reaction to
What spell did you cast?
Enhance ability.
I
Wonderful.
wasn't the only one who had that.
Awesome. And I assume you gave yourself full strength. That makes sense.
For now.
Yeah. Cool.
I gave myself Cat's Grace.
Oh shit, wrong one.
How's wisdom? I shouldn't be doing this.
I think with Cat's Grace, you might do like a backflip.
What's the
and then
intelligence one?
Eagles.
Eagle's
Eagles,
cunning?
like,
I think it's Eagle's cunning. Yeah.
Really not
Strength
strength.
engineering.
Yeah.
Right, and
Fox's
ah!
Oh, Fox's Cunning.
Fox is cunning.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eagle's
Splendor,
Splendor,
right.
and it's Bear's Endurance.
I'll take it. Right. That people have sort of been signing up throughout the day, but you only have to wait. You wait around sort of like 20 or so minutes before it starts, and then it's just right. Line up along these piers. They've got various bits of log laid out, sort of being hauled around by. They're actually being hauled around by the druids, who are mostly using bear form just to carry these fuck off logs around.
makes sense.
Yeah, so they are just moving them to place them just so it's easier for them. But then a couple of them do then turn back into their standard humanoid form and also join the lines.
Were these normal bears?
Yes,
I'm going to say because I can now polymorph into them.
yes, yeah. Yeah, but it's mostly the druids that look a bit hench, the slightly smaller ones, and most of the halflings just sort of trot off and watch. As strong as they may be, they don't really have a chance of carrying the capers.
So you should have put the belt on. You could have been the halfling that just
The halfling.
just like javelins the caper instead.
So
Today's about you, Throndraek. Next year.
So the competition starts, and the number of entrants quickly decreases because the vast majority of people can't lift the log. They didn't really know what they were signing up for, thought they were strong, and can't actually hold the log up to flip it. So about half have just paid a gold to stand around for 20 minutes and then leave.
Nice.
But there we go.
At least it wasn't raining.
That's very true. Silver lining. But you three will be eventually come up, so I'd like you three to all to make athletics checks.
27.
Nice.
24.
24, 27,
15.
15. Okay, that's fine.
-1.
So first log, you get yourselves into the position, support it, and you all do a successful flip so that the heavier side lands down and it carries on spinning over. It's not comparative to some of the other things you can pick, and it's not all that heavy. Obviously, it's still heavy. It's still a tree, but relatively speaking, it's not that difficult to do. So that those logs are all moved over, and the druids bring in the next series of capers. You are given a slightly longer, heavier, thicker trunk. So athletic checks again to throw the capers.
Oh, bugger. No.
Yeah, boy.
Come out.
If only it wasn't a negative. 19.
19.
27.
12. 12.
Yeah. I'm not rolling with an advantage like those two.
No.
Advantage by giant strength.
So, Par, you do manage to throw it.
Yeah.
You get it in the air, and it does a spin and lands the right way down, but then it bounces back towards you. Yeah, you don't quite get enough force to have it spinning all the way around. Still an impressive throw, because again, about half the people can't actually throw it. So you've done better than most people. Like, yours was a 19.
It was a 20, but yeah, it's
19.
19.
Right. It's a 19. That's fine. So yeah, you two Throndraek with far more finesse than anyone else. It's not even close to landing the wrong way. Like you're almost actually flipping it 360 in the air because you're throwing it with such force.
He's not quite getting a double flip from
Not
going
quite.
again.
No.
Wait, someone cast enlarge on me.
How to absolutely troll the village fair. Giants.
So I think at this point there's about 10 people left, because there's about 50 and then half of them left, about half left. Yeah, so there's about 10 or so people left. So the next set of capers are brought out, of which you actually, the lines, the groups are merged a bit, because they only have 2 of this set, because they didn't think they were going to need this many. They were just under the impression that just were going to be far less people at this point, which they more or less got right.
I'm going to use my bardic powers and get the crowd chanting Throndraek, 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 so he's got some inspiration.
Wonderful.
Is that D6?
Yep.
Cool. Due to our given a log you're throwing at the same time, make another athletics check.
Oh. And your D6.
No, I don't need
If he wants to.
Yeah.
28.
Come on, use the D6, but he passed 30.
Oh, excellent. There's going to be another one.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you it's a much heavier log,
Yeah.
even with the magic enhancing your ability. you manage to pick it up and throw it, but it doesn't even like begin to spin before it just hits the floor. It's just like okay. Almost completely over again before it lands. Just fine. Only 2 other people actually managed to flip it. One of them is a very burly-looking druid, and one of them is the captain of the guard, who is also here, like chainmail off. Which is probably for most of the first time you've actually seen him not wearing his armor, because he always wears it to and from council meetings. He's in casual clothing, which isn't all that casual. But yeah, he's wearing that whilst flipping things. Even though it's quite chilly, he's wearing a t-shirt, and it's partially like it's quite a wide V-neck as well, so he's quite exposed to the elements, but he doesn't seem to be all that bothered. Because he's quite tough. So there is 3 of you now left. So the next log is brought out. There's only 1 at this point. So the druid steps up first, gets himself down, bends, and goes to pick up.
Cheating with advantage.
It's almost like druids can do the exact same spell.
I was going to check. It isn't against the rules technically. It's against the spirit, but not the rules.
It's against the spirit of the game. It's not against the rules of the game.
Excellent.
It's a world of magic. Someone's going to use magic.
There's no sportsmanship in this.
Several people apparently.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a different kind of sportsmanship. It's like the idea of having the Olympics, but you have to dope beforehand.
Yeah.
Just to see exactly how much you can do.
Yeah, but I like the idea of there being an announcement afterwards and go, and if everyone would remain on their podiums for the magic detection test.
Go back in.
Quick, drop it.
Yeah, I'd like to do the Farm Olympics.
What did I stand up?
What do I do with the belt?
They didn't tell you to take it off in the first place.
Oh, I didn't know this belt was
So
magic.
the druid steps up and he
Vanish on the guy.
gets himself nicely and well placed beneath the caber, and he successfully flips it over. Nowhere near as impressive it is, but you've been by far the most impressive thrower. No one's coming close to doing the thing that you are doing. But he has successfully thrown his. I'm just checking. Cool, there we go. So then Orsin, the captain of the guard, steps up, picks it up to throw his. And he also flips it with a slightly better performance than the druid. It flips around a little bit more, but again, nowhere near what you've been doing.
This is rigged. I'm rolling against Liam.
Roll in the open.
I mean, I can have someone else roll the dice. I don't care. So your throw. Yeah, go for it.
Do I want a 20 or do I want a 20 plus a d6?
I think a 20 plus a d6.
Yeah. 21.
21. So you get in and you manage to flip the caber over. Both the druid and Orsin have thrown it in a far more thrown it round further than you had. So they had managed to flip it a little bit more, but in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter because you still managed to flip it. Cool. That log is dragged away, and another one is brought up, and this time
Is this a treant or something like that?
they're just getting bigger and bigger each time.
It's just what treant walks out like, okay.
It is now a redwood.
That's what giants use.
Yeah. Cool. So the druid steps forward again. And does a throw similar to how you've been throwing. Just nearly full on flips it around.
Frig.
Magic is helping them. I should have just had someone else. Who wants to roll for Orsin?
I rolled a 7 on the die.
A 7, which gets him a total of 18, which is not enough to throw it.
There you go. You have expertise.
No, he's just really tough.
And a high level.
He's an NPC, his stats go above 20.
I know. I need a belt for that stat.
So Orson throws, it gets most of the way round and lands on the bottom of the caber and then falls back towards him.
I really wanted to just stop, stand completely up.
Pink.
Do I win?
Does that count?
Now land yours on top.
No, you have to at least do it. Have to do a flip first, then land up. Then you will automatically.
So yeah, he's a bit like, I'll give it my best shot. Off you go.
So
You have
18.
inspiration as well, though.
No, I used it.
You use
Oh,
it.
you have inspiration.
Ben's luck.
Oh, I do have inspiration.
I'm
Yeah,
Ben's
What does that
luck.
do? I just
That's
re-roll.
a luck point.
What does that
You
do?
had another die.
What?
It
another
works
dice.
like luck.
That's 27.
Worth.
It's not like it's going to need him much.
Cool. Yeah. So you go back to how you were before and just full on flip it around. The druid was looking a little bit confident, a little bit cocky, and then a bit like oh, he got heavier and he got better. Go back there.
I
Cool.
start leading the crowd on the Throndraek.
Another muscle appears.
Another Throndraek chant, yeah. Orson joins in. Like he stepped up and is also standing at the front like, yeah! Cool. Next one, who wants to roll for the druid?
Is it advantage?
As the druid steps up, and I've got everyone chanting, I step back and I cast a spell.
Wonderful. No, anyone who might notice probably won't care, so...
Right. I cast Mage Hand and I give him a wedgie as he goes.
Oh,
Wonderful.
that's me.
Wonderful. Okay, someone make a test with a druid with disadvantage.
Well, I can do 2.
Whack! That's a 20 and a 3.
Okay. So, as the mage hand pulls the wedgie, as he goes to throw, he sort of jumps and very nearly cracks himself at the bottom of his jaw with the caper. But it's because of the way he's thrown it, it doesn't spin. It just the top just hits the floor and bounces back towards him. And he's a bit like,
Oh no, how unfortunate.
he does sort of turn and glare at the crowd like.
Throndraek.
But then steps off to the side. Your throw, Throndraek.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, so that's a 33.
Yay!
Because you natural 20 with your last throw.
What did you roll on the inspire?
2. Yeah, I could have got 37.
But it was close.
I mean, it does make sense for when the crowd's behind you if you just perform infinitely better. Yeah. So you again completely flip the log in the air. It doesn't have to land; it's just flipped in the air. Some of the druids that have been dragging it are sort of like
540 and then
sort of like you've technically won. We've got more logs if you want to keep going.
It's up to you.
what do you guys think?
Might as
Your
well.
choice, your day.
You've already won, so you might as well.
I'll give it a go.
You'll be technically the record holder.
There you go.
Yeah,
True.
set high bar.
Well, Throndraek to set the record for something intelligence based. It's going to be difficult.
Cool.
That
We're
might be.
check.
29?
29. You are able to get this one. It's very heavy though. you're really starting to feel it as you're flipping this. but you manage it. So they drag out another one. You are noticing there are more and more bears dragging this log out.
I'm just,
You're just way.
Does the next one have part of a cliffside?
I'm going to say, they're tossing a small house.
Right, this one, that's a 27.
27 for this last one is it's so heavy. You manage to get it to flip to hit the heavier end down first, but not with enough force to completely spin it down. So it just hits and bounces back towards you. But the crowd gives a very loud cheer. They have enjoyed the show, and you are handed 25 gold.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Not that he needs it anymore.
No, I'll just pass it to the pipe.
We're going to pay for the rest of his games for the day.
Oh, that.
So, while he's busy throwing extra logs, I'm going to sidle up to Orson and talk to him, and then, like a fucking child, explain the new sword I've got and talk to him about the new sword I have.
Okay.
Because I figured he might appreciate that.
We'll just check what he's armed with. Yeah, he'll talk to you about that. But he also agrees with you on the fact that a warhammer just feels better.
Does. It's just not, like, you should have seen what I did with the fucking the bell thing.
Because he is also a warhammer wielder.
Yeah.
As he turns around to arrest you, saying, "You're the vandal who dented it."
Did I do that?
Shamshir, you did well.
So thank you. I was hoping that the more of us there were in the finals, the more likely it was that we could throw and make you the winner.
Well, you threw more than I expected that you could, so...
Oh, as well, I'm a real strong man. Spare time, lift all kinds of heavy things.
Oh,
Tables, chairs, small animals.
you hide it well, you hide it well.
Just like not even gonna bother inciting that.
Shamshir would like.
Small, I just seem like doing script.
Yeah.
Yes. Guinea pig in each hand.
Squirrel lifts.
Come on, maybe a large rabbit.
Before he hunts monsters, he had to work his way up from the level.
Ants, mice.
Right, who wants to go where next?
Why don't you
Spin yourself around and find one.
Why don't you find the most toughness challenge, I don't know, and the best description we would have at this festival, and I'm going to go scout out the opposition for the intelligence challenge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, have you tried this super
What kind of
amazing
toughness
potion?
challenge is it? What, like, how you hold your breath? You're like,
No.
someone stabs you and then see who stays up longest?
Sort of like that.
Wait, what?
It's a gauntlet run. It's specifically organized by one of the core temples. It's what they use as what part of their training regime. Is someone runs through a gauntlet of people who are armed with sticks, and they are just hit, and to see whether or not they can make it through to the other side.
Today's game show is Gladiator.
This is great helping me find all the people that would enter in the intelligence competitions, because no smart person would possibly enter.
I went to...
Find everyone.
Case and... Wait.
Yeah. So this is less of an it's an open thing, but you actually compete against one of the court priests.
Okay.
So you take it in turns running down, and they increase the weight of the clubs on each round. So you're getting hit harder and harder.
Okay.
And they do it one at a time rather than... And they also do a little bit of vetting beforehand. They sort of look at people and go, no, you're not running down that, you'll die.
Then you're saying I can't hit people back.
Yes.
Right.
No hitting people back.
Okay.
Did they say anything about taking their weapons?
Is it just one run?
No, it's a run until one of you
Okay.
can no longer run.
How long does your rage last?
A minute.
We'll keep getting hit, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe has to stop where the person does the run. one of us goes in there and just keeps stabbing him.
So how many people are in one line?
Initially, it's a line of. it's a line of 10. It's 5 on each side.
Okay.
It's not a very long run, but as they go, it does increase to a line of 10 people on each side, with different sized sticks.
Okay.
Cool.
And how long is the gauntlet?
It's just the line. It's just running down the line.
Yeah, but like, how far is that?
It's 5 people like next to each other, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not very long.
You have to run about 30 feet.
Yeah, it's not very long at all.
Okay.
Because it's not supposed to be long. They just have heavy sticks,
Okay.
which get heavier and heavier. So for this one, it's a again, it's a gold to enter. The temple also puts in a gold, but you get back. Not gold for this one. This one's 5 gold. You get back the pot of 10 gold if you win, or the temple takes the pot if they win.
Okay.
So very simple, but they're just doing it 1-on-1 to save people dying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put in 5.
Cool.
No one else wants to get beaten.
no one else joining in. Just the
If
trick
you
on
remember-
this
Go
one.
on,
Just
then.
we're standing the hits, or
You're going
just
in as well?
outrunning the hits and dodging it.
Oh, I can't do this in armor, can I?
No,
See, this is why I've not chosen, because I'm not wearing my armor.
Yeah.
yeah, you can't wear armor.
I can help
Oh
with
no!
that. I can help with that. I'd walk up to our paladin and I cast Mage Armor on him.
That gives him an AC of 11.
No, then he gets 13
Plus dex, which is
yeah.
-2, so he gets an
Oh.
AC of 11.
Still an improvement.
Which is better than 8. 11 is more than 8. You learn it here first.
Oh yeah, of course. 9.
Oh, please explode, please explode, please explode. So they're all lined up. What?
Why is everyone dead?
Happy Throndraek, everyone.
No, it's Throndraek.
The other thing,
dead.
how noticeable is slow?
Pretty noticeable.
It's very noticeable.
Yeah, the person affected by slow sort of moves in slow motion.
So they'd be fully aware that something's up.
Yes. The person would be like,
Just cast other people hitting.
yeah,
That's the point.
yeah.
No, they can't take reactions. So you'd be running past them and they wouldn't
Not
be able
getting
to
hit.
hit.
I mean, if I rage, they have disadvantage on reactions anyway. So.
I'll sign up.
Your son up? Wonderful.
Sweet.
Cool, so that's 3 people signing up.
Just what you're AC.
Who wants to compete first? Cool. You're then given the option of running first or running second.
I'll run first.
You'll run first. Wonderful. So
This is going to go so badly wrong.
it might go different than you think, because just running through, essentially to see whether you can take the hits, is a con save. They don't roll to hit; they're just going to hit you.
19?
Wonderful. Yeah. So the initial run, there's some wax. It hurts. Even with the additional armor from the magic it gets cast on you, those are heavy sticks. And they're not like lightly tapping; they're full on whack. Some of them are hitting you in the some of them hit you in the chest, some of you hit you in the back, some of them are hitting you in the back of the legs as you run past.
Good job.
Yeah.
If you were to trip, can I just
Think-
stop
think-
beating on you?
There's going to be a bruise.
if you go down, you lose. Yeah, they're not going to sit there and just be like, he's on the floor, whack, whack, whack.
He's not dead yet.
Cool. The priest goes next.
Beat him like he owes
The priest runs himself through. He doesn't seem all that bothered by it, but this is what they do every day for like half an hour, so they are well attuned to taking the hits. Second run, 2 more people.
Oh, it teetered. It teetered.
9?
9.
That's so good.
It went
Oh,
between
does
the
that-
2 and the 18 like 3 times.
Does that include your plus 3?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, as you start making way, the first lot hurt. The second lot, the 2 additional guys that put at the other end, they seem a little bit more vindictive because they both go for the back of your leg at the same time. And just like wipe you out as you get to the end.
Don't think that counts.
Really?
Smite him!
He's not like, you didn't make it, but the priest still has to make his run. So. And they get him as well. They just poof, in the exact same spot.
What happens now?
It's a draw.
It's a draw, so you get your 5 gold back. Very simply.
Watch out for the knees.
Yeah. So those 2 step away from the line. They're no longer in the line. Which one of you 2 wants to go next?
Sure.
Cool. Do you run first or second?
I'll go first.
Cool. Make a Constitution. Save. Sorry, save.
11.
That's fine to get through the first round. Again, it stings and it's smart, but it's something that you're used to. You know, you getting smacked around a lot is something that is common. Alright, the priest goes. The priest walks through. He doesn't run. He just walks through, getting smacked. Doesn't seem to care at all. It is a different priest, admittedly.
That's a show off.
Yeah. Cool. Your second run.
See if I can get better than 2. Why'd I say that? 21.
21. Cool. So to show up the priest with the additional 5 guys, you walk through, and then when the vindictive people are, you just stand there and let them smack the back of your legs, and don't move, and then
Turn around.
Yeah. And the 2 of them are like,
Bring in the bigger sticks.
the priest. The priest sees you walk, and is a bit like, okay. And he also walks. And he doesn't stop at the end. he walks through. But you do see him at the end being a bit like. Cool. Third run.
I cast a spell.
Wonderful. What spell do you cast?
I cast message. I say backwards.
Who walked that shit?
So they add 2 more people.
Okay.
Cool. Are you doing it backwards?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Why not? Just a big grin on my face and
Start walking backwards.
27.
So walking backwards. You're like, yeah. As you're getting smacked, one of the sticks, they hit you and the stick breaks. Like, and they're like,
Oh, bugger.
and I just look at them and go, I just nod.
Yeah, but he's getting initiated into quantity.
Already
he already is. His stick gets replaced, and the god priest sort of stands at the end and goes, spins. Takes a few moments just to be like, and then goes. And takes it pretty well. Backing up, a stick doesn't break against him, and you can see him sort of like he is reacting to the hits, but he walks backwards, makes his way through. No one managed to stop him.
I just smile at him and look at it as like in respect kind of thing. Like,
Right, run number 4.
It is.
Yes.
Cartwheels, come on, cartwheels.
Crab walk it.
I try to go backwards again. Why not?
Yep.
This is what we're doing now. Apparently. That's a 26.
Straight up backwards again.
What are these rolls, man?
Yeah. So maybe do a 360
You're
between.
spinning as you go. getting smacked by sticks. You make your way through. The priest is like,
I think this might be the only game this guy plays today.
he gets about halfway down before he intentionally just goes nah, just drops down like oh.
When he does that, I walk up to him and I like help. Like,
Yeah, he comes your hand, this thing is stopping this part. He's like, damn.
Good show.
Yeah. My back's gonna hurt for a long time.
I pat him on the back.
You are given 10 gold.
Keep it for the temple.
Cool. Erebus,
Yes.
it's your turn now.
How was concept for you?
Not that good. I'm watching them. Does it look like I can outrun some of the hits?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Alright.
Oh, so you're not going to walk through?
Not to sprint.
Yeah.
Would you like to run first or second?
First.
Wonderful. Okay. So, see whether or not you can outrun some. First, make a dex check.
16.
16, cool. Then make a con save with advantage.
20.
Yeah. You sprint through. They're standing there. These big ones have just been used to the people just walking. So they're a bit like, all right, we've got to take our time. Then you're halfway through before they realise they need to start hitting.
Like wait and miss.
Yeah. Hang on.
Don't come back here.
They're like, right.
Just hold out the stick, clothesline.
Had a plan.
Priest goes. He runs through as fast as he can go. Nowhere near as fast. So he takes all the hits. They're also far more prepared for it this time. And are ready for people to start sprinting. Cool. Second run, make another dex check for the speed.
Oh dear. 10.
10. Not high enough this time, they are ready for you. Off the first one, so just a straight con save.
Okay.
3.
8.
Local elf guys.
8.
Yeah.
Cool. So they are really ready for you. As you start running in, straight away, one of them just smacks you in the chest and just full on clothesline you. And they're a bit like, oh, I was expecting you to be a little bit quicker than that. Bam! So you are immediately flatlined.
One trick pony, man. Do it once.
The priest is a bit like, whew. He was about to go. Let's see if he makes it.
When he does this,
Yep.
can I want to cast, well, use a key point,
Right.
cast a spell,
Right.
and cast minor illusion for a sound of a lion roaring.
Righto.
To try and frighten him and put him off his game.
Okay. It doesn't cost you a key point. Minor illusion is free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, minor illusion is one of the free ones.
Oh, yeah.
But cool. So you are making the sound of a lion roar.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That everyone hears?
Yeah. How loud are you making this?
I don't know. Well,
Loud enough for him to hear.
for him to hear at least, like if this is right behind him or something.
Okay. Fortunately, the festival is kind of raucous because there are lots of people drinking. It is loud anyway. To make it loud enough for him to hear, other people are definitely going to hear. Cool. Let's
Just hope people do that. There's the end boy.
Cool. He seems completely unfazed by the sound. He sort of acknowledges it and then just go. You do see some of the people around you being like, "What the? Where's the lion?" And then, interestingly, one of the druids, who was just wandering around taking things, turns into a lion and roars, and then just carries on going. And the people are like, "Oh, druid, right, okay."
Just druid things.
Just druid things. The priest runs through, doesn't get smacked down. He's pretty happy with that. Cool. So the temple made 10 gold, 20 gold, 15 gold. They actually never gave up any of their money. Cool. Right. During that, Shamshir, you were looking for intelligence games and to see who was playing them and what was going on.
Scout around and see if Derek's boss is anywhere to be seen. She's probably going to be entering any intelligence challenges. Or who else? Nearby.
I think you can win.
The question there is whether does he think he can trick her into thinking it's you?
Not if he opens his mouth.
No, I've got a plan, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
I think you'll like it.
Oh dear.
Derek becomes Throndraek.
Are you going to ratatouille him?
Yeah, I'm going to ratatouille him.
Okay, so make a. You can make your choice of perception or investigation check as you're sort of looking around, keeping an eye on who's interested in some of the
I'll
intelligence games.
perceive who's in the crowd, who's looking at different stands and what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Natural 20 to 26.
26. Wonderful. You make some notes of some of the people. Erlisle is not in the crowd.
We've got a chance. We've got a chance.
I'm just imagining your head now 360 as you're looking at
Erlisle isn't. Hang on. But you do spot someone you have seen before inside as a member of Purple Helix.
It's because of Chrome Dome.
Sorry, boys. Yeah.
I'll be well up for that.
Fucking Stoneball.
Hang on, let me just find the name I want. That one.
Too many lists.
Yeah, way too many lists. There we go. No, you find he's very high up in the Purple Helix. You see it's a high elf by the name of Immoral, who is...
Oh, dang. Yeah, we're stitched. Okay.
Who seems to be of interest. It's someone that you will have never spoken to before, but you will know by name and by reputation. He is the Master of Protection within the Purple Helix. He is one of the second in command.
SecDef, yeah.
Rip.
Get a blackout. We can beat him. Like, if we just remove him.
So
Give him some blackout.
I'll report back to the group and I'll find Icarus and I'll find Derek, the chief mischief makers. Okay, I've looked around for the intelligent people in the crowd, and the person that stands out the most is Immoral, the resident mop.
Yes.
That's going to be tricky. Well, we'll give it a good try.
If we can't trick them, can we bribe them? I don't really know much about them.
I don't know if bribing our... It's not employer, leader or
Mentor.
mentor, yes. Not the best course of action.
Well, it's sort of like scratch your
I'll go and
back,
have a word.
scratch
I'll go and
mine.
have a word. Leave this to me, lads. I'll go and find Emerald. Sure.
He's still standing around in the same area. He's sort of just watching the games, keeping an eye on it. You're doing a very similar thing to what Shamshir was doing. Not difficult for you to find. Make your way.
Only go well.
Greetings, Emerald. How are you today?
I'm enjoying the festivities.
Are you intending to enter any of the? Because we we're using today to say goodbye to one of our members, and I would be beholden to you if you would not enter this contest and let me and him win.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, shit. Against him. Okay. That's not what you want.
Yeah.
12.
12. He sort of looks down at you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But he looks down, but he actually, like, he also looks down at you. Like,
My stomach was upset by
This isn't good. Getting heckled by organs.
Whilst I like the idea of you being beholden to me, I've been working hard of late, and I see this as a time to relax, stretch my wings a little bit.
Very well then. Best of luck and see you out there.
I look forward to it.
I give him a nod and leave. He's not up for it.
Well, you'll just have to beat him then. Well, I will. Wait,
Sure.
How's this working? How do I win?
I go invisible, climb on your shoulders, and then just puppet you around.
Okay.
Very smart idea. No wonder you should be entering in intelligence competitions.
If you can relax your jaw, I can manipulate your jaw. I can speak for you.
Or you just talk into his ear and then he parrots it.
No people will hear that.
Well, you whisper it.
Use message.
No, because that's casting a spell.
Okay, cast it from a while away. He doesn't need to be.
If he's invisible, he casts a
doesn't
spell.
need to be.
It depends what the task is.
I put on my Throndraek voice. No, it's fine. I can talk like him.
It sounds exactly like from Throndraek.
Pretty good.
Like, there
Thanks
is,
for practicing.
Do you think you'll need the boost that I gave him for strength?
Sure, why not? Can't hurt.
I'm going to remove the boost for strength to give you intelligence.
What?
I know it's freaky, isn't it?
It's too much for you.
Isn't there just a way to have Emerald out of the competition?
What if we wrote like some kind of fake letter of summons to the Met Tower or wherever it is he works?
Yeah. Or
He's
he was
here
just
to
tower.
play. He's here to play. I'm sure he will have, being the master of protection, I'm sure he will have contingencies in place that don't, so he's not requiring any urgent today because he's having a day off.
I am going to cast Enhance Ability, but I'm going to cast it at 3rd level and give it to both of them.
fair enough.
Do we both get the same one?
Yes, I think so.
So what, Fox is coming?
Hang on, I'll read.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on.
Cool.
Yeah, you'll both get the same.
Yeah, we're moving on to weak stats, guys.
Same thing. Yeah. You haven't been drinking anymore though.
Maybe I should. That
And
might
at
be
that
smarter.
point, I come round the corner with 2 cups of tea.
Did you get that from Delray?
No,
She wasn't selling mead.
Oh, it was ale.
Spirits.
She wants you at that today. She's only selling spirits.
Okay.
She's doing what she really loves to do, which is sell spirits.
Maybe Emerald needs one of those.
Maybe Emerald needs some blackout.
What?
Well, if he's blacked out, he's not in the competition.
Right, so where was this
Oh, gosh.
thing? What do you have to do?
What are your cheers?
Yeah, what was the
Yeah, what was
So
the
the game is called something called Fox and Geese.
Honk.
So what? You pummel them.
You steal stuff from
foxes
around.
aren't some kind of pugilist. They don't pummel the geese to death.
No, but the geese might.
Quite a few savage geese.
One of you plays the fox. So there's one fox, there's 13 geese. The fox is the only thing that can move over other pieces. When they do, they remove a goose. They consume the goose. The idea of the game is either the fox removes all other geese, or makes it so that there is no way for them to capture him. The goose win by trapping him in a corner so he cannot move.
It's a sort of drafts. Okay.
Sort of, but
There was
specifically
an illusionary
originating
fox.
in Northern Europe sometime during the Viking Age.
So if I'm the fox,
Yeah.
I just kill the geese.
After a fashion.
Practically another test of strength for you.
Great. Where do I sign up?
Alright, here's a question.
Warm up the lay on hands.
Would I have experience of a game like this because it requires tactics? And I've used tactics in my career previously, like tactical critical thinking.
Possibly, there probably would have been an element of some sort of game like this would be used as a method of tactical training. It's a
Okay.
sensible way of training people to think in certain ways.
So I think I will have a go at this just on the off chance.
On the off chance, wonderful.
Even though my actual numbers aren't good.
Okay,
So let me get this straight. There are going to be 13 competitors.
no, so it's a game played between two people.
I assume it's like chessboard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on drafts.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
I
have
can-
one piece that has 13 pieces.
It's
Yeah.
sort
It's
of,
not what Throndraek's imagining. Though.
yeah.
Oh no.
No,
You're
I was
imagining
Hoping
actual
that there'll be like 13
foxes and geese,
people
aren't
trying to
you?
survive in one.
Oh,
person
right.
Oh, it's
being
the,
the fox.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
think I
the
might
sort
have
of-
actually played this in real life before under a
Yeah.
different name.
And then there's essentially
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else then.
little holes,
Oh no, I am thinking.
So it's
Yeah.
solitaire.
I think, yeah.
sort of like solitaire. Yeah.
Read it more.
The fox starts here, and the geese are along here.
I think I've actually played this in real life before.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have as well.
It is a actual game.
I cast invisibility and climb up onto Throndraek's shoulders.
Do I have to make a strength save to hold?
No,
The
I
halfling.
realise it's not question. He's got to move to do stuff.
Yeah, no, I can move his arm.
Yeah.
He just grabbed the piece and I'm going to pick his arm up and put it where it's going.
he's going to move the weirdest way, but
I mean, he doesn't look the smartest type, so
yeah, that's very true.
yeah.
yeah.
He's going to be underestimated for sure.
He's also not the smartest.
So
I'm not the smartest either, that's the problem.
this is essentially
He
it's
thinks you are.
Yeah, I'm the smartest in the group, but it's not really it's a very low bar to clear though, that's the problem.
So this is essentially a series of games in a single elimination bracket.
Black
Bracket.
A blacket.
Bracket, yeah. Single elimination bracket. Starting with just 16 competitors and obviously trickling down to just 2 and then someone wins. And it is 2 gold to enter. And then first place takes what is it? The festival takes 50%, first place takes 40%, second place takes 10%.
We could use a contact poison on one of the foxes that Imral's at, and
Well, as long as you don't get into the final, we'll be alright, we'll get 10%. If we get before the final, we're effed.
Someone go to Delray's and get some blackout.
is that a contact poison?
I'm sure I could turn it into one.
16 means 8 games. Cool, so I'd like one of you two to roll a d8.
Ooh. Johnny.
You're playing, so go for it.
2.
Wonderful.
Do I need to roll as I sign up as well? Or is this something else?
Technically, I should have you roll, but it actually doesn't matter now because it was purely to see where Immoral plays.
Yes, I
in
figured that it
response
was
to
matchups.
these. He rolled a 1, you guys rolled a 2, so he's your first match.
Oh.
They have decided
F.
It was fate.
that all was meant to be.
It was nice trying to make you win everything.
Fuck stops. Yeah.
Wait, can you use bend luck?
Already I couldn't use it on that roll because it didn't count for the requirement.
How often can you use bend luck?
As a reaction.
Yeah, it's just got
But
sorcery
I need
points.
2 sorcery points, so every few bonus actions I'm going to have to convert spells into sorcery points.
Burning spells and sorcery points. Okay, so
I was thinking can use bend luck to change the D8, but yeah, it's like I know it doesn't work.
So we'll start with, because I think that's going to be far more entertaining. We'll start with the game that you get.
Yeah.
You just get a human, but it's essentially
We're both thinking about this move.
to simplify the concept of the gaming. It's 3 intelligence checks.
Okay.
And one person will win on each check. 2 out.
Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, best 2 out of 3 will win the game.
See if I get lucky against one
And
of
I
these.
don't. I
I'm
can't.
rolling as well.
I can't blag
With
advantage because
advantage,
of my experience.
He might roll
with this.
low.
I will say you can add,
Probably.
because it's technically a game. I will say you can add your proficiency bonus to it,
Okay, sure.
because it's again you know the concept of.
Fun. Yeah,
So-
yeah. So that's plus.
Actually,
We have 4 dice. He's
Then
rolling 2.
the other thing to do, one there will be a judge will flip a coin to decide heads or tails. Do you want heads or do you want tails?
Tails.
Cool. It is heads, so the human chooses to be the geese.
Right. I'm the fox.
Yeah, you're the fox.
Okay.
Right.
So, 3 things, yeah.
Do them one at a time.
That's 15.
15. Cool. So you start off doing better.
Good.
They did not roll very well.
Good.
And you are in control of the game.
23.
23. Okay. But they are losing heavily. Third roll doesn't really matter. You're going to win, but...
Okay. 13.
13. Cool. You are solidly in win that game. The human is not worth the time, really. They don't seem to know what they're doing. They have, at best, have played this game like 3 times.
Yeah.
3 more times than we have.
No, you've probably played this or something similar.
I don't
include
think I have proficiency in any game skills.
No, you don't have. I wouldn't say you have proficiency in it, but I think you would have experience with it.
Okay.
You've been present
So am I
when
just
people have
adding
played it.
intelligence?
Yes.
I think you're right.
That's
I feel
bad.
very smart right now.
Yeah.
I have the fox's cunning.
Yeah.
That's the smartest you've ever
Let's
done.
So-
not play between geese then.
So, you guys, you are against Immoral. Immoral doesn't ask, but just says the judge, don't flip. Do you want to be the fox or the geese?
The fox.
Wonderful.
From the sidelines, does at any point he look at Derek?
That's the point. Make a stealth check for me.
Oh,
Fudge monkey.
Whoopsie.
18.
Cool, noted.
Okay, cool.
So, intelligence check.
Intelligence check, yes. Just straight intelligence check. Although obviously you get to add half your proficiency because you're a bard. The jack of all
Like
trades.
one of those.
Oh, good.
Sure.
At least it's not negative.
Nice.
That's okay.
I've got an 18.
I've got 19.
Cool. Imra was in command of the game.
Nice, 3.
I thought all your proficiency was +2 for half now. It's because we had +4, didn't we?
What?
I thought proficiency had gone up to +4. I could be wrong.
No.
We're level 7.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Cool. Second roll.
Ooh, what the shit. 20.
20.
I got 13.
You got 13.
Stop. Take 4 away from yours.
Take 4 away from mine. Wonderful. Noted. Cool. Are you at any point stopping Derek from controlling you?
Basically, what I was going to do, if I get a higher
you get
roll,
a higher,
my brain's going to be like,
You get.
I think I know a thing.
Yeah, and just do it.
Because I can't physically stop him. I can
If he
go
does
that way,
something-
that way, but if he goes, no, that one, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but right now I'm just there like. But there's basically what I'm
This-
saying
this
is if
seems
I
like-
get a higher roll, my brain's going to, because of the
Yeah,
spell, my brain's going to be like,
that works.
no,
that
I
works.
think a thing is, I know a thing.
So,
Like, I can't even confuse him by putting a hand for it. It's so invisible, it doesn't
Yeah.
do anything.
yeah.
Fuck his nose though.
So you guys move back into the game and aren't completely taken out.
Comes down to the last
Final roll.
18.
Oh dear. Tits. 17.
Take 2 off of yours.
Wonderful. Iberl stops paying attention to the game and just ends it in 3 moves.
Oh.
with after the negative of 30.
Rigged.
That was good.
I just pat Throndraek on the head, just jump down, walk off.
As you do so,
Oh no.
you get. Well, you guys watch as Iberl starts to cast a spell.
Someone cast spell.
You just get.
Explode!
Do it! Kill everyone.
See, I don't want to be stood there going, as he then looks at me and goes,
You really don't.
I could with subtle spell,
Yeah, you hear.
but I'm not paying too much attention.
As
I'll just get in
Iberl
the
sends you a message. You did a good attempt, Derek.
In the last move, I moved him a little bit. I was like, no, this one.
Better luck next time.
I turn to the invisible, bow to him, and then walk off.
I'm going to assume Emerald wins the game.
Yeah, he got a 30
Yeah.
on his
No,
final
I mean, he
roll.
wins the entire tournament.
Then he's got to play par. Don't worry.
Still, there's still.
Oh, no.
Iberl still has another opponent to fight, though he beats that other opponent. Actually, no. Did I roll your d8? Roll your d8 real quick, because actually.
4.
Okay, you're against Iberl.
Good. Means it's not going to take forever. It's good.
So again, he offers you goose or fox.
Fox.
Cool.
10.
He's
taking
in
advantage,
control.
yeah.
He's control of the game.
He's 1. 12.
Yeah, he's won.
Final roll?
Final roll, point of interest.
15.
He wins solidly.
Yeah.
You are unable to control him at all. And then yeah, he just moves on and just his next opponent. He sort of is just lazily playing the game. He doesn't really. Further on he gets, the less attention he pays. He's sort of just watching
Yeah, just
around.
pay attention to the first round.
Yeah, he had to pay attention because we came back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, hang on.
That's not supposed to happen.
And then yeah, then he just he takes his winnings and just wanders off somewhere else.
He leaves my reach. I use my reaction.
Oh, back up.
And that is how we lost Throndraek.
We wake up on the island. Oh, what a guy.
It was nice knowing him until he started screwing with the purple helix.
And then him will turn him inside out.
Yeah, it was prettier beforehand.
I think Inside Out would be a nicer thing than what would happen, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd take Inside Out compared to what he could do.
Well, we tried.
We did.
I think I understood it at one point.
Good. I'll buy a set and we can
But then I lost.
next time we're in town.
Well, I didn't lose. Derek lost.
In
But he played, well, maybe.
fairness for him, he actually got 17 and an 18 on his rolls, so he actually did understand the game.
Yeah, it's just, I was, playing a master of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'd been proficient and had expertise, I might have got a bit closer. But yeah, just going for jack of all trades, I have nothing.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's also a very powerful wizard in his own right. He's very smart.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, so I've told you why I'm leaving. Have I?
I don't
I don't
think
remember.
so.
What have I drunk today?
Blackout
Blackout and mead.
and mead.
So I want to go to Shroudwind and help Peg rebuild that to stop, well, them being treated like that. The place where they were treated bad.
The fighting pits.
Well, no, that's fine.
To remove
Well, it's not the brothel and the other place.
Oh, right,
all
I'm
the
with you
workers
now.
that are being forced to.
the injustice.
Noble of you.
Very noble of you indeed.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaving. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. And he just removes the belt. I guess you'll be better with this.
Are you sure?
Where you're going?
Are you 100% on this one?
Well, I don't need it in a city.
Thank you very much. Now, you said fighting pits. That reminds me. Clip. We should find one, like right now.
Alright.
Because every time we've sparred, I've said, no, let's do weapons. So for once, I'm not carrying any weapons.
Okay.
So let's fight on your terms, huh?
Sure.
After putting the belt on.
It's not tuned.
Yeah, you have to tune to it. You can't just put it on and gain the benefits.
Yeah, I figured, whatever.
Having walked around a fair amount, there are like pit fighting areas set up at the festival. So you can just go in.
Get drunk and have a fight with your friends.
Yeah, basically. But it's also when people start getting like annoyed at each other because they're being angry. The priests of court are literally just being like, "Go do it in there." At least everyone else can be entertained.
Swing by Del Rey's first for another shot of blackout, and then we'll go into the fighting pit.
Oh, we're doing a shot of blackout.
Oh,
First, yeah.
How do you feel about
Is everyone doing a shot of blackout?
Is everyone doing a shot of blackout?
No.
Throndraek?
Sure.
Derek will like throw over his shoulder.
I've got something to forget now.
I can't save on my own moonshine.
I've
yeah.
already had mine. Fine.
You don't
I'm
remember
cast
it.
out
So you
spell.
messed up.
You cast a
Hey,
spell.
no, yeah.
That's 19.
Remember
19.
we-
You have advantage because it's technically poison.
That's true. Thank fuck for that.
Sure,
Never
I'm
mind.
You're gonna have some?
I'll give it a go.
Wonderful.
You're all mad.
F.
You all get to add 3 because of.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a-
16.
that's a
I might be
22.
alright.
I got
22.
22 as well.
22. That's all
It's
fine.
all right,
I'm going to
it's
come back
just-
to you because I think it's going to
just
be funny. 16.
You're
Step back.
The world spins. The
Oh, I
world
forgot
does
how Throndraek
spin.
made this.
Yeah.
I got 17.
Okay, cool. The world spins.
So you rolled a
That's
3.
pretty
I
potent.
rolled an 8.
13.
13.
Oh dear.
I pick up Derek and I kind of whick up and par.
No,
Go,
no.
let's go then.
No throwing the halfway. No. You just.
You're on. Oh no, you're not unconscious.
I am dizzy, but I'm not
Yeah.
conscious.
Snap out of it.
Just hit him with a half.
I'm gonna get
That was your
something
free one.
I'm gonna get something slightly mild from the alcohol store to wash that down with. Since I'm just
You look like you might need a hand.
Wash it down with more alcohol.
What's
How
your
do you feel
a
about
much less potent alcohol.
Hang on.
fighting 2v1?
No, we're trying that.
Oh, that's alright.
Did you have a shot?
I wanted a spar too, so
Did you have a shot?
no.
That's the end. That's the end of the
Is it 2v1 or 1v1?
Can I like
2v1.
try and drink it?
Throw it behind your back?
Yeah, like hide
Sure.
it somehow.
Make a sleight of hand check, and everyone else can make perception checks.
Well, I can't.
Oh no, you're unconscious. You don't get to see anything.
No.
Oh,
Wow,
I think
wow,
you
still.
might have seen that.
Oh god.
23.
Oh, you did.
No.
I got 22.
22.
I got 20.
I got
Done.
24 because I bent the luck.
Because you bent luck.
Have you
Bend luck on me.
In perception, I don't think I have anything. So Yeah, perception's just 0, so that's 24.
24, so you natural 20 that check. Amazing.
And for the luck.
For the luck.
Wow.
So you see, it's very slick. You just catch that it looks like he's drinking it, but he manages to just tip it behind the back of his neck as he tips it back.
Right, let's go.
I
Feeling better?
saw that.
And the grass behind him just.
I saw that.
Mm.
Oh, it's a good shot.
Someone didn't drink any.
That's well. Let's go.
No one gets this shit.
Wait, so we're doing 2v1. I'm
Yeah.
gonna rage for this.
Yeah.
And he did have a shot and looked a bit woo.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys wait for a pay. You don't have to pay entry fee because you're just people fighting each other, and that's just they're charging spectators apart from people who rock up with them.
Look, I brought this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you brought the spectacle. You can just come in.
Bring your own fighter.
Has the halfling woken up by the time we get there?
No.
Wake up.
You're
On my shoulder, just like.
You're in the match with us.
Wait, woman! What?
You're on my team.
Fight! Okay, I'll have part.
No, okay, so we'll go up to whoever's running it or whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently it's me versus those two.
Well, Matt,
Sure. Perfect. Do you want to wait 10 minutes? We'll shout around a bit. We'll get some more people to watch.
Okay.
Not many people 2v1.
Does he keep the belt for this fight, or does he?
He's already
He's
given it.
it up.
Yeah.
That's the only
It
reason.
was whether or not he gave it back, because he still isn't affecting you.
Nope.
Cool. So yeah, you wait 10 minutes. You build up a sizable crowd. Like you have the biggest crowd because everyone else is just like 1v1ing and it's boring.
And this is 2 dwarves and an elf.
Yeah.
This is
It's
Throndraek Day.
really
We're making
weird,
it
yeah.
Throndraek Day.
All the pull. Do I boost Throndraek's strength? Or give advantage? Or possibly give me some prospects or hit
So, I'm going to make this simplified as well. It will be a series of athletics checks and constitution saving throws.
Okay.
Okay. Do we roll initiative?
Although that heavily favours some people than
That
others.
does. You can opt to swap one of the checks for an attack roll instead, if you prefer. So you can either make athletics check and charisma, constitution save, athletics check and attack roll, or attack roll and constitution save.
Oh, I'm choosing.
Depending on how you want to do it. I'm not going to say roll initiative. It is literally just going to be a DC based thing.
Okay.
And again, it will work on a best of 3. But the difference being, if you beat theirs, if you beat one of theirs, that person suffers a loss.
Okay.
If you beat both, they both suffer a loss.
Okay.
So they could win by you knocking one of them out and they knocking you out.
Cool.
Throndraek.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be raging.
Yep.
So I get advantage on the strength check.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, you do.
Although technically I would probably recklessing, so they would also get advantage on their attack.
So tempting to
Only if they were attacking.
If they're attacking.
If you reckless, we'll opt to use an attack roll.
I knew.
So, what's going to be the best way? So let's have you start with the athletics check. If you wish to use athletics.
Are you recklessing?
I mean, I would. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Cool,
use
use an
con
attack
saves and attack rolls.
So use it. This is an attack roll for
Yeah, I'm
you.
going to use an attack roll as well.
Cool. So you two make the attack rolls with advantage because he's technically recklessing. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Am I adding just strength to this?
Strength and proficiency.
Oh, I'm proficiency?
Yeah.
I'm just punching? Okay.
So what am I adding? Just my dex.
Your dex plus proficiency.
Cool.
That's That's a 21 to hit.
26.
I got 24.
24, right. So those are essentially the higher for those is the DC for the con save.
Right.
So that's your DC. It makes sense in my head. Don't worry.
Okay. So roll a con save.
Yes. So now, or yeah.
Oh
So
my
they're
God,
swap for
dude.
their- what was your strength check again?
24.
24, 20, 21, and 26. Cool. Right. Con save.
23.
23. Okay, so Shade lands a strike into you.
Mm-hmm.
Pause, it hits you, but you don't care.
Not with a hammer.
Con save?
27.
Four.
Cool. 4.
Yeah.
So you properly
I punch him back.
yeah, you hit each other at the
But we've been
same
used to that
time.
before. We're like, oh god.
But it's all good. It's just it's an in sync strike.
So they both now have whiplash.
Yeah. Cool. Roll the first check again.
Are you recklessing again?
Probably at the moment. Cool.
Shade, use the chair!
No.
Just throw a shield into the middle.
Right. Your athletics roll.
29.
Pause attack roll.
That was a 19 to hit. I can't actually beat 29 on the con save.
There you go.
I'm not going to bother rolling.
24. Wonderful. Nice. Just do that. Okay.
Shade can beat it.
No, we can't.
Yeah, so essentially, you just need to make your con save because you two both are just going to get smacked.
No. Liam.
Poof! Yeah.
I got the 13.
So they both smack you back.
It rolled off a bloody 14, which would have been
Tactics
23.
in there. It's like, you go that way, I go this
Yeah.
way. Watch it
So
coming.
they're working together to hit you, but you're still clapping them a few.
They both punch me and I go,
Did they I think they all headbutt each other.
Yes! Oh, we all went for the headbutt at the same time.
Yeah. Alright. Make a athletics check attack roll.
So I've been hit, like,
You've been hit twice technically now.
yeah.
Are you still ready
Like,
to
how
say?
would I be looking in the fight? Like,
So you've been hit twice. Erebus has been hit twice. Par's been hit once. In essence.
alright. Yeah, it's still reckless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that another 29?
25.
25.
Oh, I can beat that.
Wonderful. Par-
Don't. 23 to hit.
23,
Another 24.
24, and then your.
What was that? Oh, I
20,
can't.
I got a 25 on the
I can't beat that.
thing.
Okay.
D6.
I did not make
Got
that.
inspiration.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Can't clock them.
Triple knockout.
Yeah.
Do I need...
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
24
What is the thing to beat?
is the thing to beat.
Okay, then. Yeah, I got a... That was a 3. 27... No, 26.
26, cool. So Erebus, you managed to just clock out.
Alright.
he's hit 3. And you get another strike on Par. And neither of them land a blow back to you. So we come to
Come on.
the last,
Do it, dude.
probably the last roll.
Now I crit, so does that give me something else?
I mean, I crit.
Fair enough. It's just the total.
Alright, that's a 28 then.
28, wonderful.
Alright, so that's a 26 on the strength.
Cool. Make your con saves.
25. Hang on.
I got 21.
So
Is it a full Rocky style?
Oh, that's good.
We should have a banana.
So you just have all three of them are just unconscious in the pit now. The crowd loved it. They just went absolutely wild.
Did we find a tattoo artist?
He does seem to be calling for it.
Oh yeah, we give him a second one.
Alright, I'll go down and I suppose we're trying to get them up or we're going to
I'm just
carry
gonna
them
go
out.
Oh,
duff,
it was
duff.
non-lethal.
I should.
I
hope so.
assume so. Otherwise, we've been rolling initiative and attack rolls.
Did you just wake us up?
Yes.
Big.
So we're on 1 hit point.
You've not. It's not really taken
Okay.
damage. It's an arbitrary
Okay, cool.
way of just doing it.
Bruises.
But yeah, you've got you've got bruises. You've all got black eyes. All of your foreheads hurt from we headbutting each other simultaneously.
Best headache I've ever gotten.
Do you know what gets rid of the headache?
Don't hit me again, please.
Some more moonshine?
Blackout.
Yeah.
Blackout!
And actually drink it this time.
I would join you on that one.
Good, I'm going to stand behind you this time.
Well,
Oh,
so
waste
if
my
you throw-
fucking moonshine.
Well, so if you throw it behind you, just catch it out.
Cool.
I think I know who I'm carrying home this evening.
Is it Erebus?
All of you.
Cool. So you're heading back to Delray's little stall. She's giving you more shots of blackout. Make some more concepts.
I will ask her how many she's sold over the course of the day and how many people have just gone kaboosh.
Well, 1, 2, 3.
No, not us.
No,
Fucking. Oh, advantage, good call.
yeah.
Does she gesture
GG.
towards like a little muddy pit to the side? Half
No,
full of people.
there have been people who've looked on an interest to see whether it was worth drinking. But the only people who have drunk it have been you guys. Every time someone has, they've blacked out. So the people have been like, no!
I haven't blacked out yet.
Yeah, but
Yes.
someone has.
Yeah.
In every round. Con save.
27.
Okay.
19.
19. Okay.
17.
Okay. I mean, the world is already spinning for you. The world is really spinning for you now, and it is properly like for you.
How's it for me?
I mean, it's starting to get there. You're really resisting the effects.
Doris just looking at me like,
I really like that drink.
I really need to remember how I made that one.
As much as I want to make one of you drop, I also want to see him actually sell it for you.
I mean-
so I won't.
you can try and reduce my 27.
I'm not sure
No,
no,
it would have
any different.
Lol.
Yeah.
Cool. So, festivities eventually round up. You go and get something to eat, enjoy a meal together, a few more drinks. Eventually head over.
I'm just switching to tea. I'm not doing rock.
I will still with
I mean,
alcohol because it's
later
a
on in
away
the-
party.
Later on in the day, after like drinking probably lots of more mead, so I'll be like, "Hey, Crush,
Yes.
If I'm going to see Peg, I can say something for you.
Oh, yes. Yes, Throndraek,
What
yes.
do you want me to tell her?
You can't wait for another pegging.
Oh.
What is this, reverse cock block?
You want me to tell her she's in for another pegging?
She might stab me.
She might stab him.
She could try.
She might stab you.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Just say we look forward to seeing her again.
We?
The group, whatever.
Yeah.
You want the group to see her? Okay.
No, Throndraek, when he says we, he means Icarus and Liquid Icarus.
Who's Liquid Trish?
Who's got licorice?
You can hold your drink.
Huh?
You can hold your drink.
I don't know.
He's got 2 hands to do it with.
He can put his drink down as well.
I love you guys.
I didn't think I would actually.
They are hands. I literally just like.
Well, you ruined it.
Go again.
What were we talking about?
You were terrorizing Icarus and drinking those 3 pints of mead.
No.
There's been blackout mixed into each of them.
Oh, good.
What's blackout?
I swear about this before.
and I'll probably pass out again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And this time you get left.
No tattoo?
Are you guys tattooing? Are you guys wanting to tattoo Throndraek?
I don't want to die.
I don't want to
Might be something he likes.
I don't want to die.
Well, you say
Probably-
that though.
probably
You
has
don't
a
want to
tattoo
die,
on
and
him,
you don't
even
think I'm a
somewhere.
threat.
Like,
Don't worry.
No, you're a cute little kitty.
It'll rip your eyes out.
Yeah, it's the other cat that you've got to worry about.
Yeah, about that.
And the litter.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else anyone wants to do on this day, or
Once the festival finishes, I will go and help Del Rey break down her stall and move things back and whatnot.
that's cool.
I'll make sure he gets back to somewhere.
I mean, Delray's happy for him to just pass out and have tavern again. That's probably, let's be fair, that's probably where you went.
Yeah, I assume that's what we're doing.
Yeah, she probably packed up relatively early and went back with you guys.
Then I will pay so he has breakfast in the morning.
how many empty glasses are in front of me right
There's a
now?
lot. I mean, Delray actually hasn't been charging you for this night.
Oh,
She understands the importance thereof.
Oh.
nice.
And
Plus
she's
eight.
and she's made a lot of money on you anyway.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of us
Yeah.
no matter what.
We always spend well when we're in town.
Cool. So the night comes to close. You all head to various places of rest, and then in the morning, Throndraek gets up eventually and makes his way to Shroudwind to help Peg in making it a better place to live. That's where we'll end part 1. And the leaving of Throndraek off to do good things in the world. So
John off to do evil things.
Oh dear, what have we done?
And
haven't done
John
anything.
onto the world.
yeah, just push John into the world. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. We are part 2 will re-pick up from where last week left off, so stay tuned for that and go check out all the social media stuff. Bye bye.